Coronation Street has dropped a fresh clue that could finally shed light on what happened to Cassie Plummer. The troublesome resident vanished mysteriously earlier this week after a dramatic confrontation with Ross Wilkes. During Monday's 3rd of August episode, Cassie came to the painful realization that her attempts to expose Ross had pushed away the people closest to her. Feeling as though she had nothing left to lose, she said an emotional goodbye to her grandchildren and claimed she had secured a cleaning job aboard a cruise ship. Viewers then watched as Cassie drove away with Ross, with the pair having one last tense confrontation inside the car. However, Ross later returned on his own and acted as though he had no idea where Cassie had gone. He was then secretly seen taking out the family photograph that Fizz had previously given her mother-in-law. Since Cassie's disappearance, Ross has changed his version of events. He eventually claimed that he had taken Cassie to the station before she left. Next week's episodes will see Fizz become increasingly suspicious when Hope discovers the family photograph among Ross's belongings. In a newly released spoiler clip for Thursday's 13th of August episode, Ross appears to have settled comfortably into the Dobbs household now that Cassie is no longer around. While Tyrone enjoys having his father nearby, Hope is more interested in spending time with her friends. Trying to appear like the caring grandfather, Ross offers Hope some money and tells her to take a tenner from his wallet. But when Hope pulls out the photograph, Fizz immediately recognizes it as the picture she gave Cassie. "I gave that to her just before she left," Fizz says suspiciously. Ross quickly comes up with an explanation, claiming, "Yeah, she threw it at me when she was getting out the car." Tyrone is taken aback when he learns that Ross actually saw Cassie before she disappeared. Ross insists that he drove her to the station, adding that Cassie had apparently decided she had had enough of everyone. Hurt by what he has been told, Tyrone responds that the feeling was mutual. But Fizz isn't convinced by Ross's constantly changing account of what happened. Her suspicions are heightened even further by the warning Cassie gave her about Ross before she vanished. With more clues beginning to emerge, could Fizz finally uncover what really happened to Cassie? Coronation Street's Sarah Platt to be rocked by new bombshell in prison. Bethany finally reveals the truth. Coronation Street's Sarah Platt is set to receive a major shock on Sunday, 9th of August, as her difficult time behind bars takes another dramatic turn. While the Weatherfield resident has been dealing with fresh trouble inside prison, she is stunned when Bethany reveals just how chaotic things have become back home. Last month, Sarah admitted to killing Theo Silverton after being taken into police custody. However, she deliberately kept quiet about Gary Windus's involvement, much to Kit Green's frustration. After recovering GPS data from Gary's phone, Kit became determined to establish that Gary was Sarah's accomplice in the hope of helping reduce her prison sentence. He gave Gary a stark warning and ordered him to turn himself in before the police could locate the murder weapon he had previously got rid of. In a newly released spoiler clip from Sunday's episode, Bethany goes to visit her mother in prison and is horrified when she discovers that Sarah has been attacked by another prisoner. "Mum, right, you need to listen to me. It's great that you've got this new BFF, but you've been assaulted. You need to report it," she insists, explaining that the other woman had punched Sarah simply for sitting in a chair. Sarah, however, calmly corrects her daughter, explaining that she was actually attacked because she had taken the other prisoner's chair. She also reveals that the woman branded her a stuck-up, skinny, wannabe Cheshire wife. Bethany is left frustrated by how relaxed her mother appears to be about the incident. She then decides that Sarah needs to know exactly how serious the situation has become outside prison. She reveals that Kit is absolutely losing the plot as he desperately attempts to find a way to get Sarah released. Bethany then drops the biggest bombshell, telling her mum that Kit is attempting to force Gary into confessing. "You know he's trying to get Gary to hand himself in," she tells a stunned Sarah, explaining that Kit is attempting to save her by using blackmail against Gary. Sarah is now faced with another major dilemma. How will she react when she discovers what Kit has been doing behind her back? And could his risky plan ultimately succeed in helping Sarah? New romance for Bethany, but anguished Harry may ruin it all in Coronation Street. Bethany Platt finally gets a chance at happiness, but Harry could ruin her fresh start. Bethany Platt finally appears ready to move on with a new man in Coronation Street next week. However, with Harry struggling to cope with the upheaval in his life, her hopes of a fresh start could be shattered before they have even begun. Life has been incredibly difficult for the Platt family since Sarah Platt was sent to prison. While Bethany has been doing everything she can to keep things together outside, she has also been trying to support Harry as he struggles to adjust to his mum's absence. As next week's episodes begin, Sarah's situation behind bars takes another worrying turn. While attempting to settle into prison life, Sarah catches the attention of an intimidating inmate who gives her a threatening glare. The encounter leaves her visibly uneasy, but it soon becomes clear that she has even more trouble ahead. When Bethany visits her mum, she is horrified to discover that Sarah has suffered a nasty injury to her face. Despite the obvious bruising, Sarah insists that she is fine and tries to downplay the incident. Thankfully, Sarah has formed an unexpected friendship with fellow inmate Cassie. The pair have grown close, giving Sarah someone she can trust during her difficult time behind bars. During a heart-to-heart conversation, Sarah admits that she is desperately worried about Harry. She is also grateful that her former partner, Kit Green, has stepped in to help look after him while she remains in prison. However, Cassie then reveals something that leaves Sarah stunned. She casually tells Sarah that everyone inside already knows her ex is a police officer. Sarah is left wondering how such personal information has spread around the prison so quickly. Later, Cassie finds Sarah hiding in her cell after another inmate threatens her. Determined to protect her new friend, Cassie promises that nobody will lay a finger on her. Meanwhile, Bethany is encouraged to focus on herself for a change as she prepares for a date with Roman. With Kit agreeing to stay at the flat and look after Harry, she finally has the chance to enjoy an evening away from the family drama. Glenda Shuttleworth also offers to take Harry to Little Big Shots, allowing Bethany to leave without worrying about childcare. But her plans soon take an unexpected turn. When Kit tells Harry that he won't be available to look after him the following week either, the youngster loses his temper and throws his dinner onto the floor. With Bethany away on her date, Kit is left to deal with Harry's emotional outburst alone. Harry is clearly struggling with his mum's imprisonment and the changes surrounding him. Could his distress threaten Bethany's chance at happiness?